Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Pine podcast. I'm Chris Demo here at Murphy's Law Irish Pub, Rochester, in the Easton House Entertainment District. I have my friends Jill and Matt here with me today.
Hi.
How we doing?
Just like with so many guests before them, we know each other from working together and all these bars that you've heard plenty about so far. So I'll have you guys introduce yourselves a little bit. Whoever first, just tell us what you do, how long you've been in the industry, and anything else you might do too.
My name's Jill, and I've been bartending for probably like 13 years on and off. And I also teach yoga. It's kind of like a good mix in between health and destruction.
It's a good balance. What about you?
My name is Matt. I've been bartending longer than I care to admit. I think I started here in Rochester in 2012, right, with you guys?
That's probably about right.
Yeah. And here we are ever since. So on and off, same, but yeah.
You know, it's funny, like we talk about, like, you know, even they talk about in the corporate business world that like your network's your net worth. It's no different like bartending. You end up starting to hang out somewhere, you know someone that works there, and next thing you know, you're picking up a shift, and the next thing you know, you have a couple solid shifts that you're there for all the time, and then after that, you are a full-blown, almost full-time or completely full-time bartender. It happens fast.
Absolutely.
True story.
Yeah, because you started hanging out. I know your brother always hung out at Magpie. You moved into town.
I did.
The next thing you know, you were bartending.
That's how it came in. Yeah.
You work at a restaurant too.
Yeah, I work at Bella Pasta.
Yeah, we were talking about this, the difference between serving food and kind of more our style of business, which is just kind of...
It's definitely a lot more. It feels like almost like glorified serving because you're serving food, but you're also bartending the whole time.
It's vastly different.
Yeah.
To serve and bartend, like totally different
No
than
thanks.
just bartending.
Especially when I was bartending much more frequently and much more involved in the scene. I was drunk most of the time.
Yeah, we are not allowed to drink there at all.
That makes sense.
That was
really
a huge difference when I started, working downtown.
Yes.
Makes
You
sense.
literally can't survive without drinking out here.
Where did you start, Jill? Like here?
Down here, I started at Murphy's.
Okay.
So I was here every Friday night and Sundays. And then my schedule got really busy.
Yeah.
And then ended up with Friday, Sunday, Magpie,
Makes sense.
and then Half Pint.
Yep. Just when you think you're out, Lola, which is now Turcotte.
Yes.
I was a busboy there when I was 14. The way the Greeks like it. So I started out there, and it was crazy because, like, out of all my friends and stuff, no one else is like, my family owned these places out in the city, and it was like Lola was a nice high end place. Like I'd go work on a Friday or Saturday night and make like $80, and I'd show up to some party like in high school, like
$80.
then, like, it was the first time I ever bar backed. I was at Lola, my friend Taylor, who I still know to this day. He's like, dude, we need help behind the bar. They got slammed at the bar. And I started just washing glasses. And it was my first time working behind the bar.
Sure.
And I was 14. But it was crazy because we used to, we had proms and all this other stuff. We used to go to Lola and have food. My dad would give us, like, a whole spread and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's
That's
like, oh
awesome.
my God, this is crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's just, what we'll do. But yeah, so 14, I'll be 38 in November. So if I make it till I'm bartending when I'm 39,
38.
it'll be a quarter century. I used to come out here. My dad cleaned the basement for 20,
Okay.
which was, again, under minimum wage and child labor.
That's fair.
But no, it's been a big part of my life, and it's, the people you meet, the stuff you do. It's crazy to, like, how long we've all been doing this, over a decade, and how it evolved, how the atmosphere around you evolves, how you evolve, and how you like interact with the atmosphere and what you like think of it. I don't know. It's like you talk about drinking. You just walked in the other day, and next thing you know, it's tough to walk into a bar when you're a bartender and you know people, because you can't fucking leave without at least catching a buzz.
It's almost like you get looked at like, are you okay?
Yeah.
If you're not drinking.
News can't leave.
Yeah, and peer pressure gets worse when you get older. Like, come on, you could fucking drink. It's the middle of the day on a Monday. Drink.
No, it's true. We actually had that conversation this past week. Another bartender and I, we talked about like just going to a place like Half Pint where you could typically sit on the patio and like have just a book to read and whatnot. And I said, I would love to do that during the week, but I can't, knowing that I work there, because people will come up to you and bother you. Like it's a good bother, but like they will talk to you when you try to read your book and just interrupt the entire thing.
And that's the thing, like even behind the bar, like you could say, I got to go do something else. But like when you're out, like it's kind of weird what like customers see. And that's why I used to love going out, because people that would spend money during my shifts, I go reinvest into them.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I don't go out much anymore, but it's a big part of what you do and kind of building your
Right.
relationship with people.
I was just talking to someone about that. I was at like a campfire the other night and I was like, yeah, I had a whole week off and I didn't really go to the bars. And then I was like, you know what, Saturday, let me just make the rounds. Let
Yeah,
me
you
go see
gotta make the
everyone.
Man, when I came back,
You know, 'cause the
boy.
more you go out and see people and you support them, it's like a support system.
It
at that point.
is.
Like you're going out and you're supporting people and they're coming in to see you.
It's its own economy too. And like, and then you like, they come see you like, okay, I know this person's going to be a good customer. They're going to spend money. They're going to tip well.
Right.
And they're going to be like, it's going to be great. And it's like its own economy. It really is. And it's crazy how like, you get tight knit with some people and you're like,
Sure.
everyone's schedules, where
Right.
you got to be. Also, if you're like, I can't go visit that person because I will 100% black out. I know this person will always look at me though. I'll buy a drink, be on my way, and I can.
I definitely told someone I was going to come see them the other night, and I literally pulled up to the bar and I said, I can't go in there.
Yeah.
And I
Nope.
turned around and I went home because
Not
I
like
knew
me.
what was going to happen if I went
My
in.
life can't afford that right now.
But it's also great because when you know people, if you ever like need a guy for something like a car repair
Oh,
or
yeah.
taxes, it's like I talked to one person, they're like, oh, I got a guy for that. I got a guy for that. And then being away from home, like when I moved away to Denver, Florida, it's like you don't know anyone. So coming back here where you get to know all these people, it's like you have so many more resources,
Oh, yeah.
which is so amazing.
For sure.
I've picked up real estate clients. They're like, oh, like my buddy that ended up being at the time, he worked for a regional coffee shop. They were looking for locations. We site tours and still friends with them to this day. And,
Yeah.
we still talk about things. It's just, that's the thing. Like, you never know which way a conversation's going to go. If
Right.
it's going to be, fuck, I wish I didn't start that conversation. Or, this
Also,
could
like
turn
a
into a
who's who.
friend or, someone that we could toss business to back. And, then you buy people a drink and then they help you out with whatever service they're doing
Right.
for you.
Yep.
And, yeah, here we are. But it's important to be out and to support people. And for me, I can't do it because I don't know when to stop. So
Yeah.
if I have one drink, it's game over.
Well, my wife would tell you the same thing about me.
Yeah, I'm sure she has.
Yeah. We have fun.
She has not told me that.
Sometimes too much.
But no, and it's always like like just walking into a place like I'm like, oh, I hope I don't see this person. I hope I don't see this person. Because right when I'm not planning to drink, that is when I get the most drunk. And then right when you're about to leave, every time if you ran into somebody, whether they're behind the bar or they're at the bar, they're leaving or something, or the shift's over, like, okay, I can get out of here. It's like fucking clockwork that the next person, oh, you can't leave. Come on, stay for another drink.
Run by you a shot.
is.
Just one, whatever you fucking say.
It
Just
is
one.
for sure.
What have you guys like? What's the biggest changes you've seen? And I know we all kind of work at these places right now, but if you had different kinds of places you've worked, have you seen like a change in customers and people overall? Have you seen a change in even like the people you work with? Is like the bar camaraderie still the same? Has it changed? Is it, are customers harder to deal with? Is it because maybe they're younger and I've gotten older?
I
A lot of
wouldn't
half-pint,
say
which is
like,
different.
camaraderie is pretty same, like the same. We feed people back and forth to places that we all work at. Like if Jill has a shift at Magpie and I work at Half Pint the same night, different bars in general, like the people that you know in the industry that work at different places, we'll feed back and forth to different bars. But I think the biggest change to me, like post-COVID, has been the lack of just cash overall, as far as like paying in cash, things like that. Like people don't just pay in cash at all really anymore. And like not that you used to, but like as a bartender or someone in the industry, like, certain people pay in cash and some people don't.
And like your regulars, like you'll start them a tab that they're going to cash out.
Yeah,
again.
of course.
But that's rare anymore. We were talking about our buddy that we've known for years. He used to come in and sit at the corner and put a pile of cash down and you just pick away at it the whole time.
That was it. Yeah.
I remember the first time he started using a debit card, I was like, I didn't know you had one. I recently had it like Magpie on a Saturday is a little bit younger. It's painful to watch kids try to count cash like they don't know how to use it.
They can only order one drink at a time. It's like, can I have a Surfside? Close out. Can I have a surf? And it's like a group of like 10 people and they all want the same thing. I'm like, you can all just say, I want a Surfside and hand me all of your cards because I'm going to close them all out.
No,
That's the education aspect of it. And if I can look right into the camera right now, guys, looking at you, kids in this gen, I want to tell you, you can buy a round for all of your friends.
Yes, and alternate every
One
time.
of you can buy 6 drinks on one tab. I will close you out. I make sure that you will not be overcharged. And then your next friend can buy the next round. That's how that works.
Go
Man.
right over their head. They're like, I'm so afraid to leave my card here. I'm like, we're always going to have it. You know where you were. We're
Yeah.
open 7 days a week.
Right.
But also, like, you keep closing out and like, oh, like they'll write out like broke college kid can't tip. Sorry. I'm like, well, you've paid $20 to your credit card company so far, just closing out.
Yes.
Right.
Every single time.
Absolutely.
If you just kept that
Your
open,
dad
I'd
is so upset with you.
Yeah. Credit card companies charge a fee.
Yeah.
It's like you're paying your credit card company a fee and you did that 20 times. You just started a
I feel like they definitely like learn though. Like there's a couple of like younger kids who come in on Friday night and like now they'll order drinks in like the right way. Instead of saying like I want a shot of vodka and a Pepsi, they'll be like, can I have a vodka Pepsi?
That's kind of like if I wanted to be a jerk and you order a cranberry vodka, but I know you want a vodka cranberry and like single, I'm like, I'm not going to like correct you.
No.
I'll make it for you. But at the same time, like
little things like that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's a little help for you. It is a
They're just
vodka
funny.
cran.
Yeah, can I have a Diet Coke and Captain Morgan? I'm like, that's a sentence. That's not even how you fucking say it.
Right? Let me get a Diet Virgin Cuba
Yeah.
Libre.
Oh,
Like, so you want a Diet Coke?
Well, that's another thing. They'll see some cocktail at some bar. They thought it was cool. And they'll come into like Magpie. I've talked about this before. And it's like, do you make these? I'm like, no, I barely have wine. What are you talking about?
That's my favorite part about Half Pint is I love that it is a craft beer bar. Because I can make you a cocktail. I'll make a Negroni, like maybe one of the best you've had. But if I made it for you, it'd be great. But if you order that at Half Pint, I would love to make it for you, but not there. Like that's a craft beer
Yeah.
bar. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like that
Bars-
aspect of things is like
bars do have identities, and the bartenders that work there got to fit with that identity. The
Correct.
customers got to. It's a whole synergy thing.
like I would love to do it for you, but also I don't here. We're 3 deep on Friday night
Yeah.
with like 20-year-old college kids that all want Jenny Kolsch pitchers. And like I don't have pitchers.
And it's
Yeah.
definitely like different for every bar that you go to. Like the first bar that I ever worked at, I actually served with Nico, and that's how I started coming downtown was to
Uh-huh.
go see Nico.
Oh yeah, that's how it happens.
And then I moved to Long Island and I was teaching dance down there. And I was like, you know what? I need a second job. So I went out and I was looking for a second job all day. And we lived in like this plaza and we were like above a jewelry store and down a couple doors was a bar. And so when I pulled into the parking lot, we shared a parking lot with the bar and I pulled in a little hot and I hit the guy's sign and he was standing right outside the bar and he was like, whoa, why are you pulling in the parking lot like that? Why are you driving like that? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was out like looking for a
Hire
second
me.
job. And he was like, you need a job? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you know how to bartend? I was like, no. He's like, can you start tonight at 7? I said, yup.
That's
And
fucking
I came
funny.
back at 7:00. But like everything there, it was like the most dive bar I've ever worked at. Like
That's-
we'd had like ice underneath the bars
Yep.
and you'd have to fill it with beer every morning and then dump it out.
It's you're gonna have your regulars that are come in and drink the same shit every
Right.
single time. And actually, I've talked about different craft cocktail places, stuff like, and I like when I go out to like a bigger city or somewhere different, I'll go try like a nice craft cocktail and sip on.
Right.
I would
Sure.
never want to bartend, but Magpie's kind of dumbed me down because everything's just high noon, Surfside, vodka soda, and it's fine. But it's like now it's just like I got spoiled.
Right.
I don't have any tolerance for anything else because like there's like a big Guinness phase that kicked off, which is it's cool to me being a little bit older, watching some of these kids getting back into drinking Guinness. It's cool.
Agreed.
But at the same time, they come in late when we're 3 deep, and to pour 6 Guinnesses, usually on a double pour them, is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Or then they like Guinness. Now they're doing car bombs at
Oh,
1
yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
But between
bombs.
I feel like the 3 of us, we've all worked in enough places that I think that like you've gone from dive to like
Right.
not necessarily like white tablecloth fine dining, but
Right.
like you
Definitely
could,
elevated. I
you could
remember
wear a lot of hats.
getting busy at Bella and they're like, we need old fashions, we need a Cosmo. And I just
Yes.
kind of looked at them. I was like, I really have never had to make those drinks before. I'm
How
like
about a
looking it
Diet
up
Coke
on
and
my
Captain
phone.
Morgan?
I used to say to people when they ordered like an obscure drink, like if you want like a Harvey Wallbanger, I'd be like, you know what's in it? And they go, no. I'm like, then why are you ordering it?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you like the name, or you had one once,
Right.
and if someone gave you that drink, it could have probably been anything, and they just probably used a cool name.
Sure. If
For
you
it.
can tell me what's in it, I'll make it for you if I have what I, have
There
to
are
make it, but-
times on like
yeah.
Saturday nights, like the first stretch of my shift before the second bartender comes in, where if it's like steady, slow, and like people will come in and like, there's a certain girl that comes in that likes a certain martini, I know she likes her lemon drop martini. We don't have those on the menu and everything, but like Cosmo stuff like that, or a dirty martini. Like I could make a good dirty martini. Like every once in a while, it's nice to like actually make a drink when you have the time and if
To
someone
have that.
appreciates it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "This is really good." I'm like, "It feels good," and you're like, "It really." There's a touch to it sometimes, and I don't really have much of that bartending stuff anymore. Where I'm more slinging drinks more than
There's that level of, I think, like gratification that you get when someone goes, "This is really good, thank you," and I
Mhm.
go, "Glad you like
Like,
it," and
people-
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, that's why I'm doing this.
yeah, and like all the even like a margarita for me is like even a house margarita is simple. So the couple steps, but I don't mind even if
Just
we're
like
busy.
Sprite, lime juice,
Yeah.
vodka. That's it.
I do
right?
tequila, triple set, yeah, Sprite, lime juice, a splash of pineapple, and then grenadine on top,
Done.
and then you throw it in the
Bet.
face.
Yeah.
But no, like a simple margarita, and like there's people that come in like they go to all these like high end Mexican restaurants where they do
Sure.
margaritas, and they'll come in like I just left this Mexican
Tableside.
place. He goes, I came here to have your margarita, and it's simple.
Mhm.
So I think sometimes these craft cocktails get a little out of control, or you gotta, but it's I guess it's the experience thing.
I think it's also like a learning factor. Like you get to learn something new. Like we were talking about wine the other day and
Yeah.
like how you can learn so much about wine, but that could go into any alcohol, beer. Like there's people who are like beer experts
Yeah.
or whiskey or bourbon experts, wine experts. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
right.
a
And
learning aspect behind
Side
it.
note, Matt is a sommelier.
If my wife would tell you what I was, it's a sommelier. So I think, but yeah, sommelier,
I'm the taster
if you
now.
will. Thank you. No, wine is a passion of mine, and it kind of stemmed from going into a place like a Century or Pinnacle or any wine store in general, and just kind of looking at bottles and saying, I don't know what this label is. It looks cool. But I would also go into places and be like, why is this the same thing as this bottle, but this is $20 and this is $100? Like, what's the difference here? Like, how do I
Right.
differentiate that? So I wanted to really like learn a little bit more.
I don't
So
think we have too many of those around here. As far as
there's
like-
a handful in the city. I will tell you in general that there are, if you go through the actual like Court of Master Sommeliers program, there are more people that we have sent as a globe into outer space than there are master somms.
wow.
And there's only 4 levels. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got a handful of level 2s in the city. I was a level 1. I let that expire and could be a level 2 if I went after it. But
No, I mean it's another thing
mean-
is I think you could pick it up or put it down whenever. Is that how that works?
sure, I mean, I would still say that I'm knowledgeable. I didn't like delete that knowledge. You don't like just exit file delete when you
I feel like I
lose
del-
your level 1,
I
but
deleted my 20s hanging out with you guys.
a few, there were a few times, yeah, that I was like, oh, that's exit.
That's when I couldn't do the apology tour, especially when like I work there. Like people know where to find you. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, was I embarrassing last night? Because someone's gonna come in and say, like, even when you work the next shift after you had a blackout, and you're like, who's gonna walk in and be like, it's good to see you're still alive.
Yeah, people walk in, they're like, we had so much fun last night. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we
We're
did.
like,
When the
played,
fuck
like,
did I see
darts,
you?
We
Same.
crushed it. I'm like, sick. I'm like, I'm
Same.
going to stop drinking. They're like, no, don't.
I used to show up hungover to Magpie to like open every once in a while, and we open at 1. So if you're still that bad, and I remember I used to show up early because I have to set up the patio during the summer. It'd be hot as shit out.
Oh, it's
So we
fun.
set up the patio, and I would leave myself 20 minutes to go lay on top of the kegs in the cooler. And I think one time I got so hot, I was just hungover sweating. And then you put out the patio, and I think I had a hard time getting my shirt off the keg because it like stuck to it because my shirt
That is
was
fantastic.
I was like, this is like a movie. Like I might get stuck in here. I got out though.
That's fair. That's actually not to tell a story, but I have to go off on a tangent. So the day that I met my wife, I covered the night before for I think for you. You guys were at a wedding. It was some sort of Greek wedding. I don't know for who, but we were all like hanging out in the back, closed up, done, whatnot. I go, you know what? I'm going home, this and that. I didn't end up going home. I slept at Magpie in the back booth.
I've done that before.
I think your dad just had knee surgery. So he comes in the side door the next day and like pokes me with his cane and just goes, rough home life? And I looked at him and I go, no.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like, I just knew that I had to open the next day and I work the night before.
I've done that before.
And he goes, clean this place up. Like, go home, shower, whatnot, like open. I go, all right. Thanks, John. Did the whole thing. Came back in. These 8 girls are across the street at Giants. And
I
they're
remember
going to
this.
like, yeah.
You're
they're-
welcome.
They're,
You're
they're,
welcome.
yeah. They're all going to brunch, whatnot. And they all come in. They want like Bloody Marys, like a different level of spicy. And I'm just like, I hate everything about my life. I'm sweating. It's like 60 degrees. I'm sweating bullets, just hungover as shit. So they all come in, whatnot. This girl stays most of the day. I go, I'm going to make her some chicken fingers. I'll pay
It's
for
the
it.
way to a woman's
Like on the
heart.
tab. Yeah. And then end up, yeah.
Getting married. I think it feels like that for us
Yeah.
too.
But it was, no, it was
But
great.
that is actually funny because a lot of people, like, I talked about this before. I don't know if I talked about it in the show, but people, like, bars are chaos. They're fucking crazy. They're a shit show. All the above, completely true. But multiple things can be true at once. But people do meet their wives, their husbands there. They meet friends for life there. And, you do see people. I've had proposals at Magpie. You guys came in on your wedding, attended for a while. I actually still have those pictures.
I'm sorry I did that. I should not have been behind that
No,
bar.
it's all
But
right. It was
yeah,
crazy because we definitely thought we had fired you at that point.
I too thought I was fired.
Just when you thought you were out. But no, you do meet a lot of cool, crazy people and those stories that you never forget. But you do see people branch off too, like people that you're hanging out with, they're always out, whether it's a couple or they meet there or whatever, they become part of a friend group. And then
Mhm.
they get married and have kids or whatever they do, or they move. And you're just like, but people fill in, I think, a little bit. But it's interesting to watch it evolve because it's like we were talking before the show, like all these 10 years that we had at Magpie, we were always there. Like, could you ever recreate it? Like, no, you couldn't.
No.
But I am watching kids that come in now. I call them kids that like they're forming that same bond there.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
And they're like
That's
they
what
look
it's
at
there
Magpie
for.
the same way that we always did.
Yeah. Recreate that. Keep it alive.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a big group of people that come in like every Sunday. One of the girls came up to me last Sunday, and she was like, I want to play this game with you. It's like a singular group question. You just have to truthfully answer. I was like, okay. She was like, why did you start working down here? And I was like, honestly, because it was my bar to go and drink at. If I'm going to work, I might as well go work at the place that I'm going to anyways. And I was like, and I love all of you guys. And then I asked her, I was like, you guys come in here with like 15, 20, 25 people every Sunday. I was like, how did you make that bond? What brought you to Magpie? And she was like, I live right down the street. And at the end of the day, it's like a neighborhood bar. And we just have all these great relationships. We have a great time every time we come in here. And I'm just like, that's awesome. Like, that's what it
it's
should be
about.
about.
Yeah. That was us.
Sometimes you get lightning in a bottle with these group of friends, and I'm watching other kids. Like I was telling people that I just had a bunch of NAS kids that I watched them like go through college there. And I'm like, and then like I remember like it kind of caught me by surprise. They were like, yeah, we're all graduating, and like the main group of the guys, like, we don't live here, we're moving home. I was like,
Sad.
I couldn't. I was I was so upset by how upset I was.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like these were hockey guys. I can talk with them, shoot the
Right.
shit. But you really watch people kind of grow up and
Sure.
you watch people phase out, which is good. And then it's just the only part is like, okay, what's the next round going to be like? I'm getting older. I don't like change.
I will say that when you see like that progression from like you were a fresh 21 and like you are going there to purposely like just get as drunk as you possibly could
Mhm.
before I kick you out or security
Right.
does. One or the other.
But
Like,
it is cool watching.
that was
people
great. But then
have
to see them like go like come into their own
yes.
and just become adults, like
Sad, but
you start
good.
your family. It's yeah.
Well, people don't really
It is.
realize what we're just bartenders. It's just a bar. People don't really realize the stuff we see and the stuff we pick up on and the bonds you have. But I do tell people you got to be careful about the bonds you make because sometimes, you think someone's cool or friendly and they end up being annoying or creepy or like they want to be like really good friends with you and you don't know them that well. So you gotta keep your guard up on that regard.
And we're still friends like 15 years from now.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah,
right? I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
And that's, but that's here we are talking on microphones.
Right?
together.
Hello.
But no, it's a wild ride. And this is like for me, like this is why I kind of wanted to do this show is because the bartending gets tough with the family and everything. And this is my way to stay connected with the culture. Because I do think that if you watch how we talk about these customers have this same kind of bond that we always had growing up and how the culture of bartenders has kind of been the same everywhere, it's really, I think, a unique thing. And it's still one place where people always just gather
Right.
And it's not a planned event. It's not this or that. They just go out and have a night.
Right.
Bartenders go out and have a night. And I don't think you see those many authentic and sometimes fucking crazy interactions,
Yeah.
True.
anywhere else than
It's
just
true.
in a bar.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know about you, but do you see more of like kids just kind of coming, not kids, I should say, like young adults coming to the bar to meet there more so than like actually drink or like I would say
think
10.
the younger generation definitely drinks a lot less than we did growing
Yeah,
up,
right?
for sure. Absolutely. Like we'd have to pregame at the house before we even went to the bars, and then once we
Right.
got out of the bars, we were going
We would show
to
up.
But they come like at 6 p.m. and it's like this is like a meeting place for you.
Right.
Like that's kind of their thing. But they could stay. If they stay for like 4 or 5 hours, that's their thing. That's
And you get those early groups that come out. And I wonder if it's, it's like, I think it's a good thing, with everything being so tech orientated, right?
sure.
That those kids are still, like, bars still serve that purpose.
right.
We still serve those drinks, and and then you get to know them, and they're like, hey, and you can get to see people, and we're kind of like that neighborhood bars. I like it's Cheers, and I still get that
Oh,
from
yeah.
people. They're like, oh, you knew we would be here eventually.
Right.
All roads lead to Magpie. We're like, yeah, that's like Kenzie or someone I was working with. They called last call, and all of a sudden one of the kids just goes, Magpie, no.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I think it might have been Josh or Kat, whatever, but they turned on the volume to call last call, and we caught the Magpie no before the volume came back up.
Oh, that's great.
It was a really
I
dramatic
feel like I
thing.
definitely saw that video.
That's great. It was probably actually 2012 when I first started bar backing here too. And like I just
Yeah.
filled in. I think I wasn't like full time by any means, but like if they needed like real help here, I would fill in. So I worked one weekend and it was like me, the whole A squad.
Yeah,
I would say,
Yeah.
whatnot, like way back when. And at last call, I got up on the bar and everything was in plastic at that point. So I got up on the bar and I would walk across and go, last call, kicking drinks off the bar
Oh
with my
God.
foot. Just like, everybody get out. That was, I think the lights went up like 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., I should say. Like lights went up like, everybody get out. Yeah, not 2 p.m.
Yeah.
That would have been like, oh,
I will say it's one thing though, like getting people out. Because when I first started working, I was younger, and like guys you need to cut off or people you got to kick out. Everything was a lot harder, and now like the tables have turned. So for me, like on a Magpie and Saturday, it's easy for me to cut kids off. It's easy for me to tell people to get the fuck out.
yeah.
Because I'm the old guy now. So that's the one thing that I've seen is like a difference is that like, cause I remember being like 22 years old and be some drunk guy in his 40s who was a problem. I'm cutting him off, doing all this stuff, but he looked at me as such a young kid that it was a lot tougher to do back then. You worked, what you worked after your dive bar? What was the next step after the dive bar that you crashed into and got a job?
I was doing leasing management for an apartment complex and I hated it. I like asked my boss one day, I was like, if I just stick my hand down the paper shredder, can I get like a worker's comp? Because I don't want to be here anymore. It was the worst job. I called my mom like crying. I was like, ask Randy if I can get a job at Bella. I just want to bartend. And she was like, okay. So I went in. He was like, we actually do need someone. And then I started bartending down there.
And where else did you live? You were here and then you went to
Denver. I was in Denver for like 4 years, then Colorado Springs, then Florida, and then Phoenix. And
Did you bartend at all those like areas or no? I'm interested to see if like, we talk about this camaraderie, the culture, the drinking culture, the bartending culture, if
Yeah.
it's all the same everywhere.
I
Or-
wish
It's
that
not.
I would have bartended when I was out there, but I never did it.
That'd be interesting. I'm curious to see how like, you talk about this, there's bars all over the world.
Right.
So what's the dynamic? What's the differences?
Right.
What's the similarities?
We typically watch like the elbow room feed. So I can tell you it's vastly different.
Yeah,
Mm.
I used to go to clubs in Toronto, like, it was people drank, but it wasn't like how we do because a lot of people are doing other things.
Sure.
So it was like
Right.
late night raves. and shit, so-
Extracurriculars,
Yes.
kids.
So a lot of bottles of water and stuff, but like just how crazy and loud. And it was that's another thing, like in Canada too. So you have like loonies and toonies and all these other things for tips. So they
Yeah.
would just have piles of coins for their tips. And I remember thinking like, what a fucking nightmare. Want
Be-
that at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be
I don't
great.
even put my quarters in my tip bucket because my drawer is always a couple bucks short anyway. So if someone leaves me change with a tip,
Always.
I put it back in the drawer so it evens it out.
Yeah.
That's my only strategy that I have. But like I already can't hear as it is. Like I can't imagine a nightclub
That's the worst.
or a live music venue bartending. Like it's too much. But then the Canadian thing with the quarters was like I remember going to this club all the time and being all messed up. And so looking at it like, how do they have to have buckets.
Yes.
These are like 9-hour events.
Yes.
Right.
So they have to have literally
Beyond.
buckets of
Yep.
change. And they got to count and then maybe cash out at the end of the night. There's no fucking, because this place was huge. It was a warehouse.
Right.
There's bars on the roof. I've always been interested to see, like, I remember like go to Europe, typical people in Europe, they'd be like almost offended by it.
I feel like the bar scene in Europe is completely different in general.
Yeah.
Like
Kind of that
when
culture,
we were
right?
there, we went to this bar in Florence and it wasn't like you got bar service. There was a register at the corner and there was a line out the door. So you had to order the drink at the register and then you could sit at the bar. But if you were already sitting with your drink, like they didn't come and serve you at
That's
the
wild.
bar. And other than that, like it was almost hard to find a bar because people just sit on the patios and
Yeah.
drink, you know? So it's like completely different.
So is that like a one and done kind of thing? Like when you have your one drink that you pay for,
I
I
then
mean,
you're
at
just
that
like,
one specific
they
bar
just
that
don't
we went,
again?
and like we didn't go to like I didn't go to any of like clubs or anything like that while I was there. So maybe that's different. And maybe that's more of
Yeah.
like a bar style like dance club for them. It's more like our regular bars.
That would bankrupt Half Pint
Oh,
if that were the case. Like people would just be like, well, I can't get another drink.
Next, just the register.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't do it. But because of being behind a bar or like, visiting all these bars, when I go to a place, I don't feel comfortable. I do feel comfortable. The place I feel the most comfortable in the place is the bar.
Right.
Like, it's like,
Yes.
it's a weird sense of comfort because you're either on this side or that side. You go to places sometimes where they're bigger and there's
Yeah.
I went to you go to weddings. There's just like open space.
Yeah.
And it's like awkward because I'm so used to
Right.
having a bar in front of me, either looking this way or that way, that that's the first thing I do anywhere I go is I find the bar.
Yeah.
You also grew
That's a
up
weird
like
crush.
in bars, so that's
Yes.
Even
Uh,
going out to dinner, they're like, "Do you want a table?" And I'm like, "I'll just sit at the bar."
right.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Smoking or non.
Yeah, that was wild. I remember those days.
Oh yeah. It's crazy though. Like I just feel comfortable. Like sitting at a table is weird to me.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I don't know. It's just me. I think maybe it's a problem. I don't know.
I am very much a bar person. When the wife and I go out to eat, like we're at the bar. That's it.
Well, someone actually told me a while ago, like they're like, he was giving someone dating advice. He goes, oh, I'm taking this girl out for the first time. What do I do? And he was like, if you're going to take her out to dinner, sit at the bar for your first date
Yes.
because that way the bartender is a buffer.
Yeah.
If you get stalled out,
Absolutely.
that's
Oh, yeah.
I never even thought of that. Like, but that's brilliant because that's literally one of the jobs we do.
Yeah.
Is, if you're seeing things get stall or do this or that.
Oh
like,
yeah.
the
You definitely have
bartender's
to
a
be
good
able
buffer.
to read the room.
Theoretically,
you
that
know?
person should be there to help you like
laid.
Right.
engage your date and or at least make things less awkward.
You can sense awkwardness, come in and like, hey, what do you guys? And it just keeps
Yeah.
things moving a little
I
bit.
love when you get to connect people at the bar too. Like, oh, so and so, this is,
Yes.
this
Sure.
girl. And then they end up talking and then they entertain each other and then
Yeah.
they
Yep.
start coming in together or like they start dating and it's like, oh, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I also like there was one time Fern's like down the street from us. They don't have reservations. So we get a lot of people at Mad Pie, especially on Saturdays
Yep.
when I go in, that they're just waiting for that text that their table's ready.
Mhm.
And there was a young couple there and they were sitting there like it was like Vern's is busy, it's a popular place. They were busy. They were sitting there and they were there for like an hour and a half. And then they were having a drink and I don't know if it was their first date or not. I think there was relatively new at least. And
Sure.
he's sitting there, they're having a drink, they're sipping, then they're kind of getting impatient. So then he starts ordering shots, and then he ordered another shot. And I'm like, sitting there, and then she went to the bathroom.
What do I
like-
do with
I'm
my
like,
hands?
buddy, let me just tell you right now. I go, you're going out to dinner still? I go, pump the brakes on the shots. I
Right.
go, because you could do that here if you guys are staying here all night. That's fine.
Good for
You
you.
go, you go sit down in a restaurant and go, it's not going to, there's no way it's going to be a good look for you. He ordered a water, he chugged the water, slowed down. He goes, let's go sit on the patio. So he was moving around a little bit.
Good for you.
I'm like, I didn't see him come back, which means that hopefully dinner ended well enough that,
Right.
but it's just, that's, there's a lot of things we do back there that you kind of,
Oh yeah.
but you have to move the whole night, whether it's individual person, group of people, two people, or the whole bar in general. You got to be in tune with what's going on.
Yeah. I feel like I'm so good at like talking to people. There will be people who will come in. I'll know their whole life story, like where their kids go to school, what
Mhm.
they did last weekend, where they got married, their anniversary. And sometimes I'll be having talked to these people for like 5 years, but I can tell you I have no idea what their name is.
Oh yeah,
No-
Yeah.
unless you're paying with a card and I'm cashing you out with a card like every time.
Face,
N-
drink,
No idea.
All day.
Oh,
If I see your
Yeah.
face, I know your drink.
Oh yeah, I see people
all
walking
day.
in. Your
But
beer is
name
on the bar.
might
Like I
take a
know what you
while.
drink.
That's why I try to introduce those people to as many people that I know, so I can get a name out.
Yeah.
And then that'll happen. They'll get their name. This is my friend Eric. Oh hey Eric, I'm
Yep.
Steve. I'm like Steve. That was it. Then he comes
Yes.
back in. The next time I see him, like fuck, I forgot again. It happens
So
every
worse.
time. And every time I'm like, I'm not gonna forget this.
Right.
I've gotten better with last names because that's how people say their tabs to me.
Sure.
And then you gotta look for that name on the list. 'Cause
Yeah.
No, it's
that's-
the blue chase
I
card.
talked about that
That's
before.
it?
It's the one blue chase card that they make at International Bank.
Yeah.
It's all
Right.
They just have the one.
Oh
No
my
big deal.
gosh, I had this one guy once. He was like trying to close his tab out and he had a gold like American Express card. And I'm like looking through the pile and he's like, it's a gold American Express. I was like, yeah, what's your last name? He was like, well, it's a gold American Express. I was
There's
like,
5
could
of
you
those.
tell me your last
Yeah.
name, please? And he was like, he told me what it was. And I was scrolling through the cards and he was like, it's right there. Like, it's right there. And I literally handed it out. And I was like, is this you? And he was like, no. And then I was like, that is not your card.
Yes.
Like, leave me alone for 5 minutes and let me do my job.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
it's crazy.
relax, brother.
I had a
was-
similar kind of thing happen where I was like going to grab something from the bottom cooler and I went to grab a Surfside and the girl goes, it's right there. I go, I know where it is, but I'm 36 and my knees just popped. So it's going to take me a minute to get back up. I see it just
Right.
like you do, but I'll grab it in a second.
Right.
That as soon as I drop something on the floor, it's like no.
Yeah.
So I'm like in front of all these 22-year-olds. I gotta be like,
Slow-mo. They're like, no, it's right there. It's right there.
yeah, it's right there. No big deal.
Cool. Thanks.
Or like they'll close out their card. They'll give it back to them when they're drunk. They put it somewhere in their wallet and they'll argue with you for an hour. Like you have my card. No, I don't.
No.
Right.
I've had this
No.
argument. Like this kid for the last 2 hours. And he's like, you have my card. I go, we do not. I
Right.
go, I have cards from 3 years ago. sitting
Oh,
there
I do.
that
yeah.
we don't get
10.
rid of. I go, I didn't have a tab for you. If I had a tab for you and didn't have your card, then it's on me.
Right.
But if I don't have a tab for you,
Yep.
I don't have your card, and you're drunk, 100% of the time you have your fucking card.
Right.
And then this happened once with this kid, and he's a regular. So he comes, and the next time I saw him, like the next week, it was Saturday to Saturday. But you find your card? He goes, it was in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, it was.
I asked him, I go, have you checked this? And I know a place. You go,
Yep.
check behind your phone. Did you check in all these?
Yep.
But they just, their brain's just not working at that point.
No, of course.
But either way, it's like, come on. It's good that he doesn't know where his card is because I wouldn't serve him anymore anyway. So that works out.
It's the best part of being like, I'm actually the sober one right now.
Yes.
Like you are the drunk one. So like, I do know where your card
Yes.
is. I bet I can find it. It's behind your ear.
That is another thing that like, those are the things like I've lost a card before. I've given a card back to the wrong person.
We
before.
all have.
I feel so fucking terrible, but that's a responsibility.
That was that kind of thing when you said like gold Amex. I've closed out a card before where it's like, you're not Alan Schmidt,
Right.
but I gave you that card
Right.
type deal. And the guy's like, I got home, like I live 4 hours away, but I had this guy's card. And I'm like, oh boy. You're rough.
I have literally mailed cards to people because I feel so
Yeah.
fucking bad. Or like when, like, you make that mistake, you didn't realize it, and there was two of the same cards in there, and then someone else goes to close. Like, I don't have your card. Like, it's this card. Like, oh wait, I have that kind of card, but this name is not on the screen. And you have that like, oh
Yep.
shit moment. You're just like, I know everything that just happened. I feel bad because it is your fault, and most people are pretty cool about it if you're sincerely upset about it.
Most.
Most people do get pissed. But
Sure.
I feel so
Yeah.
yeah. All the accounts that they're linked up to, they gotta get a new card,
Yep.
change all the card information, assuming it's someone that isn't gonna come back. Like people have a lot of Bills cards around here. That's
Yeah.
with a Bills card before.
Yeah.
I was working at Castaways down at the lake one summer. It was like last summer, and I cashed a girl out, and I was walking her card back to her, and the card slipped out of like the receipt book, and it fell right through the deck, like through the wood, like
Always.
in the ground. And I was just like, what do I do? Like,
Saw it.
do.
She saw it.
and
like,
so they were like, you can try and go underneath there. And I like literally tried to crawl underneath the deck to go get this card back. And I could not like reach it. Like it was impossible to get. And I just had to like give her the check because she
Oh,
paid, but she didn't get her card back. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I really have no idea what to do. You're just going to have to order a new card.
Yeah, it sucks. I've had like underneath like at Magpie, like in the bottom, Like there's that little crack in between the floor and like where that bottom shelf goes. I lost one
Yes.
under there before.
Yeah.
I didn't even try. I tried with a straw for a second, but I knew it went like deep in there. I'm like, this is it.
There's got to be like 15, 16 down there.
Oh, there's
I
all kinds of
guarantee.
shit. Yeah, there's probably a gold mine under there.
The last time that I lost a guy's card, though, and I actually gave him somebody else's card, and he was honest. Thankfully, he was like, "This is not me.
That was
I'm gonna
awesome.
give
They
that back."
actually looked.
The other guy left, and I went, "You know what? Out of pocket, I will pay for you to have like a gift card from the bar, at least to get you to like incentivize you to come back."
Right.
Type deal.
You
And he
got
was
you
like,
got
"You
to
know
do
what?
that stuff.
Deal." And I was like, "Cool."
And like I think, like I said, most people. I mean, some people are really, some people are assholes no matter what you do.
Right.
But some people, if they see that you're sincerely like upset about that, or I tell people all the
Upset.
time, like I really feel like when I'm busy, people use Apple Pay, and I'm like, I don't want your phone in my fucking hand when I'm
Always.
this busy. And there's all this. I'm
To
like
me-
nervous about, and I'm just more delicate with it because I'm like, if I drop this, this thing
Yes.
shatters. They're gonna be like,
That's on me.
at the same. That's the thing. I would be like, well, dude, like have a card or pay. You gave me your phone.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Wow.
Done.
Why? Probably,
No, I hate it.
Probably because a phone can't slip through the cracks of a deck.
I hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's a little
Yeah.
it's more stable for me.
It's one thing like at a bar like this place, if you had like a POS right there, different story, like just boom, scan, hand it back. But like a bar like Magpie, if I was to grab that and have to walk to the other end to scan and give it back to them,
Yeah, and I guess that's my advantage working at Magpie is because like I always usually
right
work
there.
with someone else.
You're on your own.
So you have your own
Yeah.
side. I
Yeah.
never leave
Your own
from the
station.
that
right?
point.
That's
Back and forth.
terrifying though to me. To
But
be like,
oddly enough, out of the 6,000 people a night that ask me to charge their phone, I don't feel weird carrying it to charge it. Probably because I hate them for making me charge their phone.
That's
So I'm
fair.
like, good. I fucking hope
Also
I drop
fair.
it. I don't even care.
The vapes too. The
Oh.
vapes
Yeah.
and the phone.
It's like, oh, you were going out for a 4-hour night on the town, and not once did you think to charge your
can't-
phone?
No.
I
No.
can't even be mad about that because
No,
I
of course
literally
not.
knocked on Half Pint Store like yesterday,
was
and I
you
was like,
yesterday.
my phone's
Yeah.
dead. Can I plug it in? I
Yeah.
left it there and went to lunch.
Then
Came
you,
back
went, then,
for
you
it
got,
after.
then you got drunk all day.
Yeah.
See, that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yep, that happened.
You're welcome.
No, yeah, it's a lot. I've had people that the phone thing is just a whole different thing, but
I mean,
you need to have it. I mean,
it
the
happens.
tapping in general is so much easier. I still like counting cash just because I'm probably a little.
Thank you.
I like giving it. It's more of an experience, like a whole service experience to do that. And I hate like the pens and everything. Like I feel like when I'm in a rush with like credit cards, like I feel like I'm throwing paper at people where like cash, I have a nice stack, like here's your change.
Yeah.
It is. Or you got to hand it to them in their hand
Yes.
as opposed to, all right, here's your receipt, your pen, your card. And that's why, but maybe that's just me.
I don't know. I pay with cash for everything, but I think it's because I have an abundance.
That's industry.
you know?
Straight.
That's
Now,
industry.
these people for the most part don't get paid out cash. I mean, you got to go to the ATM to get cash.
Right.
There
And-
was a time, I would say like maybe 10 years ago, like pre-COVID, that people actually paid like with cash, even if they weren't industry, and
Mhm.
it still was like, thank you, like
cash is king.
here's this, and that. I mean, not to call myself out, but we used to go to a certain bar that you could go on a Sunday and put $40 down and be like, just 20 is your
Yeah.
tip. I'm done.
They're
Still
like,
have people
"Oh."
do that at Bella. I have like a group of older guys that used to come in on Monday nights, and they were all like retired bar owners or like managers or bartenders, and they're like just all retired now, and they come in and they just take all their money and they throw it in a giant pile,
Yeah.
and when it's done,
That's a cool way to do it. But at the same time, like you get those things, and people that usually do that are just typically good tippers, which is great.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, pile is dwindling. Are they going to
They know what
or
they're
gonna-
doing.
Yeah, they know. what they're
Yeah.
doing. They always come and save the day. And it's actually funny if you pay cash and you're a cheap person. If I'm busy, I'm less likely. I still will, but I'm less likely to remember you if you didn't tip me with cash
yeah.
than if I had to take your
Correct.
receipt and put it in. zero.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll still probably remember,
Mhm.
but if I turn around, there's just not cash in the bar, I'll just give change and I'll go on to the next person. But like now I'm collecting receipts, then I got to go back and put in the zero. I'll remember you, I think, a lot more.
No, you
Especially
are.
if how ours, if like when you tap it, it doesn't always say their name on a
Yep.
thing. Or I'll look at the item detail. I'm like, fuck you, tequila pineapple.
Yeah.
You're not getting shit.
I know your face forever.
I was definitely working like a couple of Fridays ago, and Pace came up to me and he was like, don't serve that guy anymore. I've made him like 6 drinks and he hasn't left a single tip. And I was like, okay. So I like just had handed him a drink and I walked around the other side of the bar and I looked at him and I was like, you just don't tip your bartenders? And he was like, how are you going to come behind the bar and just say something like that to me? I was like, because we've given you 6 drinks and you haven't tipped us one time.
Yeah.
So do you just like not have enough money? You don't know that you're supposed to tip or like
Right.
what? Like I have absolutely no problem calling people out.
It's fucking brutal. And people, it's funny, I've talked about it before. People that don't tip usually want the most service.
Right.
They have like a personality quirk to them that makes them entitled and demanding. And they're
I
kind
don't
of
know what
an
it is about the bar that makes people just like lose all humanity. Like
But
people
they
are like
say-
slamming their can on the bar, and
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
do you
the
think
best.
that's how you ask
Or
for
like
a drink?
the snapping,
Hey, yo,
this
yo,
thing.
hey, I just
Hey.
need, and I know it's sometimes it's
No.
loud. I'll be like, hey guys, I'll be right with you. Yeah, let me get a no. Not what I said.
Right.
I'm like, I have 6 drinks in my head right now.
My
And when one gets
favorite.
off, the next person comes around the back, and then I'm gonna fuck up a bunch of drinks. It's gonna ruin my rhythm, and then I'm gonna have to pause and take a
Like you already
rebreather.
have like a running checklist of the
Yes.
last 6 people who asked you
yeah.
for something.
Mhm.
And then someone's like, hey,
My 2 favorite things. The first one is when when it's really, really loud and they're like, high noon. And I go, good and you? Like, I can't hear a word you
That's
just
pretty
said.
funny.
But I think that you said, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, good and you? Like, what do you want? Whatever.
Hey, just a word of advice: if you see your bartender running around doing stuff, just because we make eye contact, I try my best to make sure to say, "Hey, I'll be with you as soon as I can."
right,
Be right
To
with
get
you.
them off my fucking
Yep.
back, and also more importantly, honestly, is to acknowledge them.
right,
Like, hey, I see you. I know you're there.
Yes.
Right.
I do have an order.
right. Just
You're next
just
up.
acknowledging someone makes
Yes.
a big difference usually. Like, hi,
Huge.
how are you? I'll be with you in a second. You
Yeah.
know?
Also,
I'll get mad at people. I'm like, I'll be with you in just a second. They go, yeah, I just need. I go, no. That's
Yep.
not
Right.
what. Like, if you try to just supersede me on that or continue to argue, like you should have whatever you want first, you will be bumped to the back of the line.
correct.
See, and there are some people that even I see with the younger generation sometimes like, yeah, take your time, or you're doing great, because we're in
Right.
the weeds. And trust me, if we're running around, if we are doing anything, we cannot make you a drink at that second.
Right.
A good bartender, like you said, will acknowledge you and just let you know that we see
At
you.
least
you're
tell
there.
you, yes.
Right.
Hey, I'm here.
But
Be right back.
you can't
Like, oh.
force me. Like I can only make so many drinks.
Right.
It's not like
Yeah.
I can make more and I'm choosing not
And
to.
the other thing is like I have terrible hearing behind the bar. Like when
Yes.
the music is loud and there's a ton of people in there. There was one time we had a huge party come into Bella and there was this one guy sitting at the bar and I was like, hey, what can I get for you? And he was like, I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. What can I get for you? He was like, I was like, I stepped as close as I could. I was like, I'm really sorry, I cannot hear you. And he was like, you need to learn how to read lips. And I
Oh,
was like,
fuck
you
off.
need to learn how to order a drink. And I ignored it for like an hour.
Yeah.
I was like,
Here you go,
no.
buddy. I just that's
I would just keep
wrong
looking at
with
him from
you?
like a distance
Like,
and
I
being
would
like,
never. Like, if someone says they can't hear me, I'm going to speak up a little.
Yes.
I'm not going to get quieter. Like, who does that?
the one thing I will say, shout out RCR. There is an awesome course for like ASL for understanding like sign language,
yeah, I heard
open,
about
close
that.
type, like the very basics of sign language, but also understanding like you can write things down or there are apps that you can like type
yes,
things
people
into
do
and
use the
translate.
apps.
The coolest thing ever, especially in our industry, like I would say Rochester in general has a massive hard of hearing
Yeah.
community.
Mhm.
And to be able to like not only interact with those people, but like be able to like engage and just say, this is like the scoop. Like, do you want like menu? Do you want like things like
No,
open?
people have written stuff
closed?
down, and if you make an effort to try to understand, we actually have a party here once a year for a deaf group. Comes into Murphy's, and we've always had someone that could sign come in and
Mhm.
run the party,
Mhm.
and it's great to have a little custom tailored thing. And like I said, we've talked about that, even in smaller scales where you make a drink and someone appreciates it.
It's
and stuff.
big to have
If
that.
you have those
Yeah,
positive interactions
it
with people
is.
on a busy night, you have one or
Right.
two of those,
It's
it makes it
awesome.
all fucking worth it.
It does.
So
That's-
do you guys see yourselves in this industry for a little while longer? We're gonna stick around for a bit?
I definitely, I love the business. I've done a lot of things, done a lot of different jobs in my life, and I just love being at the bar, like not just at the bar, but like being able to talk to people and being able to move around all day. Like every job that I've loved is with people, so I feel like I'll definitely be here for a while. Is there other things that I'd like to do? Yeah, but I feel like it's a great tool, especially to bring in a lot of cash to be able to afford to do what it is that you want to do, even if it's not your long-term goal. Like, oh, I'm going to be a bartender for the rest of my life. Like, no, I'm using it as a tool to be able to go and do the other things that I want to do.
It's a great skill to have because you can jump in and out of it whenever you want, and you can stay as long as you want. You can peace out for a while. You can come back.
Yeah.
So that's good. What about you, buddy?
I would tell you that this industry is it is the life, but I would not recommend it
Yeah.
to people. Like I love what I do. It's awesome. You got to wear a lot of hats. You got to be a certain type of person. It's not for everyone to do. You can't just think like I'm going to delve into it just because there's an opening
Or it
to
looks
be able
easy.
to do it. Yeah, it does. It always looks easy. It looks appealing. And that when it's good, it's great. When it's not, it's really not.
Right.
But you take the good with the bad, and it's all about that measurement of how do I handle my level of like I love what I do versus the money that I'm making. And like that gratification goes both ways. So like
Right.
if you make both, you're doing really good.
Right.
You're awesome.
Yeah, people always ask me, they're like, you literally work all the time. I have like 7 jobs. Like I work 7 days a week, but I'm like, I don't really mind what I do. Like
Yeah,
I'm teaching
right.
yoga and I'm going to the bar. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad life.
No.
No, and I mean I've done corporate like cubicle, corporate America, like white noise pumped in type stuff. Like that, listen, that's also not for everyone.
That's not, and I think we talked about it. You got to be a certain kind of person. And I have seen this industry chew people up and spit them out. I've seen people thrive in it, and it is the person, the place, the coworkers, the ownership, management, clientele. It's a whole formula.
Definitely think when you love the people that you work with, it makes it a much better environment.
Sure.
You know,
The people, the customers, the
I have
entire atmosphere.
I'm
Yeah.
a single person downtown that I don't enjoy working with.
Well, I'm glad that makes the social possible.
We work together on Saturday. So
We're going to. Maybe that'll be
Oh.
a first for me then.
I want to get you guys together before your friendship falls apart. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up here. I appreciate your guys' time. Great conversation. Thanks for hanging out. Everyone, please make sure to like and subscribe to all of our channels, and we will see you next time on Behind the Pine Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.